What's going on, guys? Grady here with Grady's Gear, and today I am finally ready to do my full review on the Berg Blades Iron Pup. This is a recent acquisition for myself. I was very interested in this blade. It was my first Berg blade purchase, and I had seen a few reviews on it, and I was on the hunt for a mini pocket tank. What I mean by that is I wanted something that was just solid, robust, and just built like a tank. Like, I felt like I needed that kind of role into my collection, into my rotation. I've mentioned before that my collection is actually very modest because I am very particular. I have knives that fit specific roles for me. Now, don't get me wrong. If I see something that catches my eye, I jump on it. It's an impulse. I'm an addict. That's what I do. Knives are my thing, and gear, so I'm definitely guilty of that. But overall, when I'm looking at buying a knife, especially at this price point, this knife cost me $305. So when I'm looking for a knife in that price range, I really have to justify the purchase, at least to myself, before I buy. So I wanted that kind of built like a tank, knife. But my issue was a lot of the knives that were built like a tank are freaking huge. And I mentioned before, I am not the biggest big knife guy. I don't like huge knives. I find for my cutting tasks, for my use, I don't need a huge blade. The blades that I buy are on the smaller size, and that's just my overall preference. So if you like bigger knives, to each his own, but that's just not my thing. So I'm ready to do my review on this guy real quick, and let's get through it. So starting with the materials, you got titanium handles, a carbon fiber inlay right here. It is running on bearings, thumb stud opening. It has got 20 CV blade steel. You got the Berg Blades logo right here, and this is in the dark. This is like a stone wash, but it almost looks like a bead blast that's been stone washed to me. I think it looks great. Great finish for definitely a user blade if you want it to be that. It's got a titanium pocket clip. Really good drop shut action on this guy too. This is produced by We Knives, which is my first knife that I've ever bought produced by We. I don't own any We knives, so I also thought that was interesting as well. You do have some jipping on the back here that's not aggressive at all. Honestly, I could take it or leave it if it was there. If it wasn't, it wouldn't bother me. I do love this drop point blade right here, or clip point, or whatever you want to call it. It's got this hollow grind right here, but it comes down pretty damn thin behind the edge. It is a slicey thing. I just love the overall profile of this knife. It's got a very usable blade shape. The handle fits great in the hand. And what I love is right up here, I could choke up and get all four fingers definitely on here and really get in for some fine cutting. I love that. So what do I like about this knife? I love the size. I love the blade shape. I love the ergonomics and how it fits in my hand. It's got a very utilitarian feel to it. I love the overall aesthetic. These come in different inlay materials, or you can get the full titanium if you want, but you can get G10, I think micarta as well. And then they got like a black PVD coated one with carbon fiber. There's so many different variants. So that's another thing I really love about this. You have flavor and choices to match your style. I really like that. Again, the blade shape is perfect. Thumb stud is cool because I can spidey flick this thing, and I think that's awesome. The action is awesome. It's smooth. It's on bearings. Very easy. It's fidget friendly. I can sit here and play with it. No problem. I love that. Just a very simple design. It was made to be carried and used, and very straightforward. And that's why I bought it. You do have a little bit of a back spacer right here. I like how everything's contoured. Feels great. I just love the way this fits in my hand. However, there are two things about this knife that I've had it now for a couple weeks and carrying it that I do not like. The first off, the weight. This is a heavy son of a bitch for how small it is. Now, it is a thick, chunky boy, and I totally get that. That's the reason why I bought it. But my thing is, I would have loved to seen some internal milling on the titanium on the inside. That would have reduced some weight considerably and just lightened it up a little bit. You can still use this thick of titanium, just mill out some pockets on the inside. This has absolutely none milled out on here. These are thick ass slabs of titanium, which makes it really weighty, which is good and bad. Like, it feels solid in my hand, but it would still feel solid in my hand even if they milled out some pockets on the inside. I just wish it was a little bit lighter. The second thing, and I think this is the biggest downside to this knife for me personally, and I knew this going in, and I didn't think it would bother me, but it kind of bothers me, is the pocket clip. I love the design. I love it in my hand because there's no, I keep thinking there's a flipper tab here for some reason. I love the design. I love the way it fits in my hand because there's no hot spots at all in any grip. I don't have a hot spot. But what I absolutely cannot stand is that it like sticks like this much out of my freaking pocket. I'm okay with not having a deep carry pocket clip. For example, my Leon Ma Field Duty, you know, this much of it about sticks up out of the pocket. That's not a big deal to me, right? My 80 20.5, you can see how much sticks up out of the pocket. This is a lot bigger knife, but not a real big deal. But I notice it considerably on this. This stops at like here. And it's just a big chunk sticking out of my pocket. Well, I don't care if anybody knows that I have a knife, but it's a lot for me. And I don't know, it just kind of bugs me. Now, as far as retention on the pocket clip goes, that was the one thing I was worried about because of how much of it sticks out. I was like, well, how's the retention? The retention is great. So hats off to Berg Blades for that and We Knives for getting good retention on the pocket. Because if it didn't have good retention on that pocket clip, I would have lost this already. So those are my two negatives for it. The weight and the pocket clip. One thing I did notice when I first opened this thing, it was right after I did my unboxing video. I didn't notice it when I was doing the unboxing. I noticed it like 20 minutes later after that. The thumb studs right here, they actually came loose and I had to tighten those back up. That's the second time I've actually had that happen on a knife. I had that happen on my 80 20.5 too, and I had to take this and tighten it. They were loose on here too. That's the second time I've had that happen. It's weird, but I just thought I'd mention it. That I've never really had that issue before with thumb studs coming loose, but I had to tighten these down. They were almost about to fall off. I would have been mad if I would have lost one, but yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. But overall, for the price you pay, for the material that you get, the quality that you get, the quality is here, guys. Look at that blade centering. Blade centering on this guy is dead center. Fit and finish and how everything's rounded off is great. There is no transition between the carbon fiber and titanium. If I were to close my eyes and do this, I couldn't tell where they meet. I couldn't tell if they overlapped at all. Very, very smooth. So fit and finish on this is exceptional. Premium blade steel with 20 CV blade steel. Great blade shape. That choil right here is great for sharpening and to put my finger. If you have huge freaking hands, this knife is probably not going to be for you unless you're carrying it as a secondary, throwing it in the fifth pocket of your jeans or something like that. But primary carrying, I don't think this will be your jam. But you never know. Could be. I love the overall design. I love it. The action just drops smooth. And it seems to get even smoother the more I use it. I love that. Only two downsides is the weight and the pocket clip. If you can get over that, you know, it's a chunky bastard. If you can get over that and the pocket clip sticking out that much, this is a great option, guys. Like I said, there's good and bad, but there's good and bad to any knife that you get. So take what I say with a grain of salt. That's just my opinion, and that's all it is. But yeah, guys, overall, I really do dig this knife. I've been carrying it a lot. I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. I love flicking it. it's good. A lot of fun. You can spotty flick it. If I can get my finger under there. There we go. You can spotty flick it. Just an overall rad knife. Really, it's just, but it is a small knife, guys. Let me, before I cut this off, let me give you guys some size comparisons while I got some knives out here. Here it is next to the Leon Ma Field Duty EDC. You can see it's smaller than that. Demko 80-20.5. Considerably smaller than that. Knife that everybody should have, or does have. Bitch made bug out, considerably shorter. And let's do the Quiet Carry Drift, which is another hot knife for this year. Very similar in size to the Drift. Actually, let's compare them real quick, because I love how the Drift feels in hand. This is a smaller pocket clip, true deep carry pocket clip. Whereas this, I love the milled look. It just sits so freaking, there's so much exposed. But honestly, these two knives, I've been carrying a freaking ton here lately. Actually, these three. These three right now are probably my most carried knives. So that tells you something. I actually like it, even though I'm giving it shit. Yeah, guys. I think this is really cool. If you guys haven't watched my unboxing, go check that out, because I go over the packaging and everything. But I think this is an awesome buy. If you're on the fence about it, as long as you can get past the weight in the pocket clip and that doesn't bother you, go for it. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, guys, this is my review of the Berg Blades Iron Pup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next one.